You are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Admiral Krell, congratulations on your nomination. I look forward to supporting you, and I enjoyed our visit yesterday. Before I have a question or two for you, I just want to put on the record for my colleagues a deep concern about the news that broke yesterday that the Pentagon was briefing Senate Republican colleagues about actions in the Caribbean, Pacific, and potentially in Venezuela without inviting Democrats to that briefing. That, in my mind, is starting to amount to a troublesome pattern. At the beginning of the year, most of us were denied the opportunity to meet with the nominee for Secretary of Defense before his confirmation hearing. Many of us have directed inquiries to the Pentagon asking basic questions that are appropriate for the oversight role of this committee, and on the Democratic side, we don't get answers. Most recently, on the 10th of September, 25 of us directed questions to the Pentagon about basic questions regarding the strikes that have been in the news, legal authority, evidence that they were in fact narco-traffickers, who is targeted, why strike rather than interdict. We have not been given answers to those questions. The news yesterday followed recent news that Pentagon officials have been instructed not to communicate directly with members of Congress except through the Congressional Liaison Office, which has not been the case in the past. And there's also been news in recent days that military officials connected to the strikes that have been referred to are being asked to sign non-disclosure agreements. This is very, very troubling. This committee is a nonpartisan and a bipartisan committee. I've been on it now for more than 12 years. This year, when we voted the NDAA out of committee, the vote was 26-1. And that's usually what it is, virtually every year. We're not Democrats and Republicans on this committee. We support the military in a nonpartisan and bipartisan way to the best of our ability. And if we are going to provide that support in a nonpartisan and depoliticized way, we need to be respected in a nonpartisan and depoliticized way. I don't speak for anybody else on this committee other than me, but I work my tail off on this committee. This is the dominant responsibility I have as a United States Senator. I represent a state that has more military equities than most. I'm a military dad. I don't deserve to be treated like an annoyance, an obstacle, or an enemy by the Pentagon. In order to depoliticize the military, and that's what we should be doing, every member of this committee should be treated with equal respect by the Pentagon in terms of answering questions, providing information. And there shouldn't be an easy pass lane for some and an obstacle for others. And I just wanted to state that, and I hope my colleagues will support me in that going forward. I wanted to ask you this, Admiral Krell, that you've had a pretty unique set of experiences before being nominated for this position, and you know the position very well. But in particular, you've had some significant experience on the intel side of our military operation. So given your experience working with the intelligence enterprise, and especially under Title 50 authorities, how would you leverage that intel background to enhance STRATCOM's ability to integrate intelligence into strategic planning and action?
Thank you, Senator. And I very much enjoyed our office call, and I appreciate your time. I guess the way I would answer that is to say, just to emphasize the importance of the insights that the intel community provides across our government. And if confirmed as the STRATCOM commander, I would continue to pay very, very close attention to those insights. As part of my operational experience you referenced, I do have quite a bit of deep experience working with the intel community, and I think combining, the capabilities of the intel community with the military can provide much more effective and a broader range of options back to that, providing options to national command authority where the risk is increasing. And that's where I would say, be a pretty important aspect where my background is helpful as I contemplate.
One last question. I asked you about intelligence, so now I'm going to ask you about artificial intelligence. You said something as we talked the other day that AI, the way you framed it, it can generate a data advantage which leads to a decision advantage, which results in a warfighting advantage. Could you briefly elaborate?
Yes, Senator. The technology, we need to be very deliberate. A human will always be in the loop, and that will be the decision maker. but the ability to manage vast quantities of data and provide decision-ready information is going to provide a significant warfighting advantage to the country that gets that most right and takes the best advantage of it.
Thank you, Senator